Is the following series convergent or divergent? Can we recognize any pattern here? This is similar to the geometric series of the form of a r to power n minus 1 and start from 1 goes to infinity, and in the case that the ratio has absolute value less than 1 or r is bounded between -1 to 1, this guy is convergent to a divided by 1 minus r. So we need to rearrange these general terms the way that we can recognize the pattern. This guy can be written as the summation of 3 to power n times 3 divided by -2 to power n, and starts from 1, goes to infinity. We can write 3 in front of the series, in front of the sum. As I showed you before, this is equal to 3 times the summation of 3 to power n divided by -2 to power n, and starts from 1, goes to infinity. But between these two, you can take it and write it with one exponent. So you have 3 times the summation of 3 over -2 or -3/2 to power n, and start from 1, goes to infinity. You can also rewrite some of the terms to feel more comfortable about the behavior of this series as well. So it is equals to 3 times -3 divided by 2 plus 3 times -3 divided by 2 squared plus 3 times -3 divided by 2 to power 3 plus the rest of the terms. So indeed, you have to factor out 3 to recognize the pattern for your series here. Okay, what is ratio? The ratio is equal to -3/2, all right? If you take the absolute value of your ratio, it is equal to absolute value -3 divided by 2, which is 3/2, but this is more than 1. Since it's more than 1, our conclusion is the series is divergent. So we end up with a divergent series since the ratio r is more than 1. So our conclusion is, since the ratio or absolute value of the ratio is more than 1, so it means that the series is a divergent series. It means that if you keep adding these terms together, it's not getting smaller, it's getting larger in size. The sum goes to a large number. You could also take the limit of the general term and see the limit is not equal to 0. That's another way to take a look at this as well. So, quick note for you. We can also take the limit of the general term, which is the limit of 3 to power n plus 1 divided by -2 to power n as n goes to infinity, and it's not 0. And from that, you could say that since the limit of the general term is not 0, so the series is a divergent series. If the question says, hey, recognize the pattern, what is the name of this series? you should be able to recognize the pattern and say that, hey, we are dealing with a geometric series. On the homework, on the exam, if I ask you what is the ratio, you should be able to recognize the ratio as -3 divided by 2. But if the question says, hey, is this a convergent series, divergent series, you can say that, hey, the reason by justifying the work, since the limit of the general term is not 0, it means that the series itself is a divergent series. So from one question, we can drive different types of questions to answer.